All right, we're back in session. Let's see. Angie, do you have the original for signing on the resolution that was passed
Yes.
625X?
I do.
We don't have to do anything else other than just sign it, right?
Correct.
If I understood the email correctly.
Yeah. I guess that's when you guys reorganize. That's one thing we could figure, because there was nothing out there with you as chairman.
Well, guys, do we want to sign it?
The contract with,
No, this is the resolution
gap.
showing
So
the
financial,
voting of, or the financial deal that
the
was
gap
passed
waiver
in,
that we do every year in January.
yeah,
You made the
January
motion.
10th.
Yeah.
What's the motion?
Wade.
Hi, Wade.
Good morning, Wade.
Early for you to get here, isn't it?
Oh, I'm here usually. I was gonna be just over there.
So it's okay.
We got more people here today than we had on Monday. We've got a motion here.
That should have been done in January. We made a motion. We just didn't do it.
Upon approval of the county attorney as a form, moved to authorize director chairman to sign the service agreement with Doug Vanderliner of Integrated Technology Consultants, Inc. for the period of January 1, 2022 through June 30th of 2023 in the amount of $5,000.
Also move, Mr. Chairman.
Dawn's moved,
All second.
Tim's second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Mr. Marshall? Byron?
There's that. Okay. Who wants to go first? Would you like to go first?
I'll finish it, you go right ahead, then I'll finish it. Apologize for my informality. Gentlemen, we're here to represent the ad hoc committee for the jail. I am here to let you guys know that the ad hoc committee has come to a unanimous decision and is ready to give that information to the commissioners. We're requesting time on the 1 week from today commission meeting so we could stay in the formal, open conversation realm to where we don't have the same place where we've been, I think, with the public, which is the lack of information, which has got us to where we are today in trying to get a jail purchased and built. So we talked with Angie Kirshner, and we requested for a 9/20 on your next Tuesday normal meeting, to where we could put a proposal out to the commissioners, where we could prepare it for ballots for the public. And that's the only reason I'm here today, is just to allow you for information. It's just information today. So,
Cool.
any questions for me?
I don't.
I thank you for serving on the ad hoc committee and your input and everything, all your time spent.
It's definitely not my own. There's a large group of well-qualified individuals. So.
Well, I would like to thank everyone, but Ben, you're standing in front of me, I'll thank you for your part in it, so.
We'll see you guys in a week.
Okay, see you next Tuesday.
I was there last night to just be a good listener. Everything was very positive. A lot of
good questions asked. Response was very positive from, on the answers. And I think our Ag Hoc Committee they performed very well, although that's only me and I've attended. Performed very well and done a good job of representing Coffee County.
I think it's important to put out there, gentlemen, that we all entered this ad hoc committee ignorant in the manner that we needed to be to make a quality decision on something that's well beyond our grasp. And in 2 or 3 months' time, gathering wisdom and knowledge and getting outside of the realm which is normal for us, we were able to figure out that there's a desperate need, followed by something that could be successful if we'll just look past the normal $5, $10, $12, $20 that's in our pockets. Anytime we're managing something in a $55 million realm, and then you talk about a project that could cost upwards of $40 million, the common person struggles with that, and that number can be daunting. But with more information, open communication, getting the right people involved in the right places, those things are, I think, are very surmountable and things that we can do. So.
Very well put.
So from a monetary standpoint, that's what I was there for last night, talking with Joe, who was the bonds person you guys had decided to retain, and without giving away too much information to him, because we'd like for him to know what's going on, but I don't want him to know what our pockets look like, although we did, because it's open, records and all that fun stuff. But anyway, long story short, I gave each of you a sheet of paper that says, hey, here's how much money we have at any time of year, and the December 1 number is the one that best represents things, and that goes along well with the numbers that actually Angie gives you, from the aspect of any of those other numbers contain lots of the assessed taxes that are getting ready to be sent out. So, like currently, we have a lot, but I'm going to be giving away $17 million to the assorted entities around the county. So, to say we have X dollars when we really don't is not realistic. But what you can determine from the last, 5-6 years worth of the monetary history, if things go as history has been, we'll have, that excess funding every year that you've been using to get ready for Wolf Creek closing. We don't know if that'll happen or when that will happen, but that's basically what's happening. We have extra money going that direction. But if we can divert that towards paying for a jail in the short term, that would behoove us. So what I'm saying is there's, $3-4 million each year that goes to assorted things, whether it's for roads or whatever. We could use that to pay for the jail. We don't have to write a check today for X money. What the bond gentlemen these guys discussed was a 2-to-1 split. So twice what the bond is going to be, the county will put in half of that. So if you round numbers, if you did $10 million for us, $20 million bond issue. If you're looking at a 5% bond rate, that's $1.5 million per year. As I said, we have an excess of $3 million each year that would easily take care of a $1.5 million bond payment. You can't pay off early, but we could take excess funds, stick them away like we have been doing, and pay it off early after 10 years. If that's what we so choose to do, which is the way I would go. But the next piece is, we're not building, if this is approved, you're not building for at least a year, so we would have another tax season, which would generate that $3-4 million worth of excess. By the time it's finished, it would take another year, you'd generate that other $3-4 million. So if it came in over, inflation happens, you guys all know what prices are doing, we would have a couple of years worth of excess growth that we could apply towards any issues or increased expense that we may see.
And I also think it's important we talk about this, like I said, in the open forum.
This is for you guys to think about,
This is
and
simply
we can talk
information.
about all this again on Monday when everybody's going to be, Tuesday, when everybody's going to be watching, or know to look back at that meeting. But that's just so you guys have something to think about. and then you can ask questions on come Monday, Tuesday.
We need to start thinking in the eyes of sales pitch, gentlemen. I mean, we have to. At some point in time, we've got to get the public and the knowledge out enough to where this can be something that people can grasp that we have to have. And then feasibly figure out how we're gonna pay for it. So,
Very well. Very well. Be a good discussion Tuesday.
all right. Thanks for your time, gentlemen.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're scheduled,
9:20. We'll be here.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Take that time.
Thank you. What are you doing over there?
Look, you looked at me, I'll come up, you're ready.
We're just gonna go down the line here.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. I've got a couple extra things, but I'm back on behalf of that, the motion we tabled from Monday on the truck bed. Did we send the motions back? Actually, I have one motion and one to
Probably
talk
still on our
about.
books.
I was able to secure another bid for, installing and, the sign truck bed on the Dodge that we purchased. I have a bid from Master Tech from Wichita in the amount of $14,088 is the low bid, and what you should see on the motion. I got a bid, this week from American Equipment for $19,967, and Reed and Company was no call, no show. So, was able to do a little bit more work and try to, I mean, there's just not a lot of people out here that's what they do. So,
Just for the sign truck?
yes, sir.
I thought we were gonna use the existing bed.
We are. This
We
is
are.
this is to have it installed, have the
Have it.
PTO and pump and all that
Okay.
hooked up, yeah, so, and pretty much, you know, we talked about what we could do, what they could do, and you know, even at that price, that's pretty much turnkey. We'll have some work to do on the headache rack and a few things, but that's including some lighting and whatever, so.
You guys got work lights on them, don't you?
We do, and we're adding more to this one than we had on our old trucks.
So is there a generator, or is it just run off the,
Just
run
on
off
the
alternator?
battery, just off, yeah, and the truck's big enough, it's got the upfitter switches, so
Right.
it'll be just programmed right into
Right.
into those upfitter switches, so. So, that's.
So I guess we'll go with motion 2022-26, based on the recommendation of the county engineer, move to approve request for authorization to accept formal bids for new truck bed and installation.
That should be amended,
Yes.
for the accept informal bids for truck bed.
Truck bed installation
Yes.
on the new 22 Ram for Master Tech Equipment of Wichita, with the estimate of $14,088, 0 pennies, funds to be paid from the road and bridge fund.
I'll make the motion.
Tim moved,
Second.
Tom second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Just to leave it off the real quick, I brought a motion if we want to use it, or I'll just give it to you as information. So we bid, magnesium chloride for our dust control, our paperwork that we sent out on our bid request. Asked for 33,000 gallons approximately, okay, and I think this has been a problem we've had in the past. We're just trying to correct a little bit. Actual gallons is close to 51,000, almost 52,000 gallons. There was one bidder, is all we had, Scott Wood. So I brought a motion, if we need to amend that gallons, I mean, 5133, that's a little outside of approximately 33,000 gallons, maybe, but doesn't change the price, it doesn't change anything for us. It's not a budget impact for us because we are reimbursed by the residents for those gallons used, for the most part.
How many gallon on a load?
Bob, I'd have to do the math. I know they told me, as I'm working on, working with them,
5,500?
probably, they said 11 loads, and my gallons are 51
That
something.
stuff's bound to be pretty heavy, so probably
Right,
5,500 probably.
right. So, do you wanna take care of that emotion, or you just want that information so we're all,
4,700 gallons a load.
Yeah.
5,000 gallons a load, roughly.
yeah. So, just so it's open and transparent.
50's a lot more than 33.
33, it
I
is,
guarantee
it
you.
is.
Maybe,
Right, okay.
maybe the motion I would say
Yeah.
up to 50
Up
or
to 52.
approximately
Okay,
50.
I've got one here written out.
You can make a copy.
Yeah, absolutely. I got a couple more things I can talk about while we're doing that. So with the weather this week, I think we talked Monday, I don't believe we'll be starting next week, and it could possibly be 2 weeks. We'll visit with, Wheels, the carrier, next Thursday to determine what the following weeks look like, but we'll probably push back 2 weeks due to the weather.
We're talking more rain, what, next Tuesday, Wednesday?
Yeah.
I haven't looked that far out. Golly.
Need to bottle some of it up for July and August.
Okay, yes. Purchasing policy, 30-3 allows us an exception, to go ahead and bid, certain things, diesel fuel. Culvert pipes be one of them. So I'll just give you some information, you'll see probably in 30 days. We ordered, some large pipe, 4 40-foot by 72-inch culverts with bands at a price of $24,870 to go towards the Oxum project that's coming up down on First and Second. So that's just info for you guys to have. So just, and any question you might have about the whole purchasing policy, we done it by the policy and procedures that we have in place, so.
You just need one pipe that size?
No, there's 4 40-footers, there'll be 2 80-footers.
Okay,
and
say there's-
two 80-foot.
There's three pretty good valleys there.
Right,
Okay.
well, I'd have to check with Ryan, I don't know if that's a double barrel, I'm assuming, in
Yeah.
one spot, but there'll be, 2 80-foot.
Probably drains there in two spots.
Right,
Well,
big pipe there, so, one last thing while I'm kind of waiting on Angie there, in the past, Champlin Tire Recycling's been kind of one of our only suppliers in the state to pick up used tires at the landfill. And, we had Yoho in the past as well, but that's gone. I got a call this week from, Archie Palmer. There's now a United Tire Recyclers in Iola. And their price is quite a bit more favorable than Champlin. I wanna give them a try, see how they work out. He's got a $175 per ton with a 3-ton minimum. That's with no fuel surcharges. Or $160 per ton, no minimum with a $50 surcharge. Guys, the last time I used Champlin, this invoice is dated April the 20th. When I figured the fuel surcharge is $210 a ton for the tires and 15%, bringing it to $241.50 per ton disposal of those tires. So I want to give this guy a call the next time and just see how he performs. That's quite a bit of difference. And who knows, he might be in business a while and be right up there to where Champlin is, and then we'll.
What's it usually cost us when you do the tire?
Well, this particular bill was for 14.69 tons, and that cost was $3,547.
Oh, so those are 10 anyway, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, we try to keep it below that, but that's just info for you unless you got any questions on that. Like I said, if they're in business long enough, maybe they'll figure out their prices are too low, I don't know, but Champlin's out of Concordia, this guy's out of Iowa, so this fuel will be a lot less.
Saving on some fuel.
Right.
Now on this,
Also, Mr. Palmer's kind of a local guy.
this magnesium,
I think that's Georgia,
Is
boy.
it, okay, I'm saying, that's the Archie.
I think so.
Okay.
now this magnesium chloride, motion 2022-31, do you want, it still said 33,000, so we wanna
Oh.
reread this and put
Did I
52,000 in
did I
it?
get my copy back?
It also
they
says
did. Here.
with the purchase of additional
Here.
20,000.
20,000.
Oh, okay, my bad, I didn't read far enough. With the purchase, move to approve purchase of approximately 20,000 gallons. Okay. So I'll just go through and
Okay,
reread,
yeah,
I'll just
yeah,
go
yeah.
through and reread the motion.
Yeah.
You can keep it there. There's a change, didn't you know?
Motion 2022-31, based upon the recommendation of county engineer and county attorney, as a forum to waive purchasing policy for additional magnesium chloride dust control for good cause due to being regional sole source provider of magnesium chloride. And as formal bids were received on March 30th, 2022 with Scottwood Industries LLC, the only bidder at $1.19 per gallon for approximately 33,000 gallons. Move to approve the purchase of approximately 20,000 additional gallons from Scottwood Industries LLC due to volume increase for county dust control program to be paid at the base price of $1.19 per gallon.
So moved.
Don's moved,
Oh,
Tom second. Any discussion?
Okay, most of it's reimbursed from
I'll-
landowners.
right, I mean, we have one or two dust controls of our own, but, yeah, no, that should not be a budget impact.
Hearing any further discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, and we'll tighten up that procedure next year, so.
I think the person just put, I mean, we had a one-time of 52, I'd just say up to 50,000 on next year's, or 55,000.
Or put that, and then the approximately, if we're at a couple thousand gallons one way or another. It fluctuates, I mean, it depends on who.
I mean, even if you was approximate on this, you'd still shoot with a shotgun. 20,000 gallons off.
Jeff, are they doing prep already for this?
We were working on that, we were trying to prep that for, to be ready for next week, and it's hurt us.
I understand.
It's hurt us. I've got one road and one operator, potentially two. I know we've got some roads out there that, this slow rain, soaking rain is making our roads look more like, winter time, the frost coming out of the ground. You know what that's like every year. This is, pretty bad, so we've got a couple miles, and we could potentially even work on tomorrow, even though it's our day off, just because, you know, it's Memorial Weekend. One of them's to the cemetery, and one of them's just a well-traveled road up in your area, so we're trying, but man, it just fell apart bad.
Yes.
But yeah, and that's some of that too. Rock's really wet right now. We can't get any, you know, you put wet on wet, it's just wetter.
Soup.
Yeah, soup.
Mention you're buying it by the ton, so it costs more.
Yeah. Yes,
Good for your people.
Look at that guy smiling. All right.
Some water.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, Jeff.
Todd, you got something for us?
Good morning.
this
Well, I'm just here to answer any questions after the commission meeting on Monday, and there were some things brought up, so I'm just here to see if we can't get things clarified.
Well, I think the main concern of several of us was people are using the weed department for a reason. Let me back this up. People are using the weed department, not just weed department, chemical buys or sales to skip the co-ops and buy it at a discounted price at the county weed department, noxious weed department. I don't feel that's the reasoning behind the noxious weed department.
No.
Is to buy chemical for your field application use at a discounted price.
Well, we sell chemicals for use on noxious weeds, no matter what the circumstances are, whether it's fields or pastures or city lawns or things like that. So we're not, advertising that we sell chemicals for Roundup Ready beans. we sell chemicals for Johnson grass and the other noxious weeds that we have too, so.
So, but that doesn't stop somebody from coming in and buying Roundup from your facility and spraying it on their Roundup Ready beans at a discounted price?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't, but,
How you gonna know?
How you gonna-
Aren't they told of it?
yeah, we have signs up that say
It's gotta
chemicals
be,
are for noxious weeds only, for use in Coffee County only. You know, we can't hook everybody up to a lie detector test.
Right.
So we're taking them for their word. But there is a limit on Roundup that we sell for, Johnson grass. It's a 10-gallon limit.
Yeah.
And I put that limit in place as soon as the Roundup Ready beans came out, because I knew there would be potential for, you know, this exact thing, so.
I mean, how would you determine, well, if that weed grows in a field or in a pasture, it's still a noxious weed.
It is, and we're gonna sell the chemical for, you know, wherever it's growing, so.
I can understand that.
But that is why we have a limit of 10 gallons for Roundup, because of the potential for misuse with the Roundup Ready
Is that
beans.
one visit, or is that per year?
That's per year.
Per year, okay, okay.
that's per year.
Okay. 10 gallons, how many acres is that spread?
Well, if you're going a quart to the acre, it'd be 40 acres.
40.
And if they wanted more,
Oh, yeah. If they think they need more, then we actually have to go out and physically inspect to see that it warrants selling them more Roundup. And there's only been 2 cases, so, over the last, I don't know, 15, 20 years, however long Roundup Ready beans has been in play, we've only had 2 that we've gone out and inspected and did warrant selling them more than 10 gallons.
Even though you got signs up, and I understand there was a producer that was a little bit out of line here a week or 2 ago, and that's strictly hearsay. But even though you got signs up, do we need to ask if they're wanting more than 10? Do we need to ask if it's specifically for noxious weeds?
Well, if
and not
they're-
going on Roundup Ready? Do we need to ask that question?
Well-
That way, if they, you won't know whether they're being honest with you or not being honest. At least they're making an admission. And
The 19G that we have them sign when they're purchasing chemicals from us says they're buying it for use on noxious weeds in Coffee County.
that's what it says, yeah.
Yes, so, I mean, there's no way we can police it, you know, there really isn't. We've gotta take people at their word, so,
and the guy that came in that day was mad, started out mad, but was mad when I told him that we could come out and we'd have to inspect if he needed more than 10, and he didn't. That's why he wanted it, I'm sure, because he didn't want us to come inspect it,
Mhm.
because he knew what we'd find.
Do they gotta give the address of the application?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he's out of county, he rents land here,
Here in.
and he had to give me the legal description of where he was gonna spray this.
This is just a copy of the noxious weed law, in case anybody wants to read through it.
And I'm aware when I brought this up, that if it hadn't been somebody out of county who came in and actually admitted that, yeah, this is pretty much what they wanted them for,
Right.
that it wouldn't have been an issue, but to me, there's another issue with it too, and that's whether the clerk has to put up with people's crap when they come in.
Right.
Well, and when I got back to the office, I told her that, we can refuse, we have the right to refuse service to anyone, so, I told her I would back her on that, and I figured that the commission would back her on that as well, so.
Definitely.
If they hadn't pulled in the driveway when they did, I didn't know what to do, but I was about to tell him, can you come back in an hour, because I'm not selling you anything. But I don't know what he would have done.
Well, it's pretty simple. If there's a problem, just dial 911.
Yeah,
That's what I would do.
Right.
Say, excuse me, I'll be right back.
Right.
Yeah.
Grab that telephone.
So,
And I did want to point out too, and you guys can see it in your copies, but it's in 2-1322, purchase and use of chemical, equipment and chemicals, sale of chemicals, price, charges for use of machinery and equipment, record of purchases, sales and charges. It says the Board of County Commissioners or the governing body of incorporated cities cooperating with the Secretary of Agriculture shall purchase or provide for needed and necessary equipment and necessary chemical material for the control and eradication of noxious weeds. And then it goes on down a little bit farther and says that, the Board of County Commissioners shall sell chemical material to the landowners in their jurisdiction at a price fixed by the Board of County Commissioners, which shall be an amount of equal to not less than 50% nor more than 75% of the total cost incurred by the county in purchasing, storing, and handling such chemical materials used in the control and eradication of noxious weeds. So it is in the law that we do have to provide chemical to the landowners for use.
It says landowners too, it doesn't say rentals,
But that's land that is in Coffee County.
but it's land, it says chemical material to the landowners. It doesn't say to people who are renting the property.
Well, I think most of the landowners have an agreement with their renters that, you know, about noxious weed control. So anyways, we do have to provide a cost share for the chemicals unless we reach 1.5 mils or more. And right now, we're at 0.673. So I don't see us ever be getting to that point where we're at 1.5 mils and we could charge full price for the chemicals. So
Can the cities come in and get this from you?
they come in and buy it at a cost, our cost. They don't get a discount. Other governing bodies have to pay full price.
I just personally have a problem with a producer coming in and buying a chemical at a discounted price and spraying it on Roundup Ready beans. I've been in the farming world my whole life. I just find that that's,
I guess my question is, why do the cities have to pay full price? I mean, if they're in the county and they're trying to do the same thing that we're trying to do.
They're just another governing body, I guess, so any other county offices pay full price for the chemicals.
which is still gonna be a discounted price.
Absolutely.
So versus going to the co-op.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. So, you know.
They're just covering
Right.
the 100% cost.
So, to answer your question, Jesse, we don't advertise, we sell chemicals for Roundup Ready beans.
Right.
We sell chemicals for noxious weeds,
Right.
whatever the land situation is, so.
I just find that it's,
No matter what rule you got in place and what program, somebody's gonna wanna break it. So,
Yeah, and
Right.
we can't be the weed police, we can't
No.
follow them out of there and say,
I mean, if he's only selling 10 gallons a year to anybody,
Yeah.
then that's not very beneficial to a large farming operation at all, so.
No.
what's the discount?
So the discount on most of our chemicals is a 25% discount. But the discount for Sarisa chemicals are 50%. And that was a decision that, the commission made a number of years ago. Because Sarisa is our biggest problem within the county. And they want to get as many, the commission at the time felt that they wanted to get as many acres treated of Sarisa as we could, so.
Still agree on?
I actually came in and recommended we increase that up to where they're paying 75% of the cost, and the commission didn't want to go along with it. So,
It's a huge problem.
yeah,
I think a
absolutely.
little bit less than might have been set 8 or 9 years ago.
Mhm.
I think they're getting a little bit of a handle on it in some places.
It's pretty thick in some areas
we've
still,
got a
but,
big
you know,
We've still got a problem, but I think it's a hair less.
Yeah. I'd like to think so.
We're learning new techniques.
I can still remember the first patch of Sarisa I found in the county, and it was up in the Waverly area. I had no idea what it was at first. Got out of the truck and tried to pull it up. You couldn't pull it up.
You can't pull
I had to
it
get
up,
a shovel
can't
and dig
do
it up. Yeah, yeah. So,
You got another shipment of Roundup in
we did.
with that. If you don't get any more, what percentage of that is based on your normal sales of Roundup?
So the price increase is not, slowing people down from buying the Roundup. They say we have to have it, so they're paying it. We went from where we were selling it for $30 a 2.5 gallon jug to $80 a 2.5 gallon jug.
we're
Well, what's the
paying
percentage of that you're
We're paying
receiving if you don't get more
$105.
compared to your annual sales?
We're gonna be done with what we've got on hand now.
You will
We
have
have
enough
2 more
to-
pallets. Well, we won't be able to get any more after this. It just won't be available. We couldn't get any at all last year, so. we were thankful to be able to get some this year. But, you know, we're gonna see increases on all our chemical prices this year. We saw a little over a 10% hike on our 2,4-D, and I anticipate, with us purchasing some more chemicals, as our inventory dwindles, that we're gonna have to probably look at that when we're, turning in budgets. We're gonna have to take that into account, so. Anyways, do you guys have any other questions for me?
Thanks for the information.
All right, thank you.
Thank
You
you.
don't gotta take any beef off anybody.
Appreciate that.
Write their name down if they come back through.
Oh, I got his name
911.
engraved in my head.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I know there's some more discussion that was supposed to come through, but the two have left, so.
They'll be back.
They'll be back.
Don, if you think Teresa has gone down, you ought to live next door to a government agency.
Yeah.
I've dealt with Teresa for
I do,
25
well, I have
years.
some property next to the
Yeah.
and I guarantee you, I got a bunch of threes.
The
I
farmers-
do too.
The farmers have been aggressive in addressing it, it's definitely less what it was.
There's too many of them that don't get
I
aggressive
understand.
and don't.
I've dealt with
I've spent almost more chemicals on the government trying to keep it off of me than I do on me. Because I guarantee you,
Look at the history of it.
if it's not controlled there, it's on me before I even know it.
That's where it
How it
started.
got here.
That's where it started.
Mm-hmm.
I used to plant this in ditch roads in Missouri.
It's not a noxious weed in Missouri, or was it, I don't know what it is now. A few years ago, it was not a noxious.
I get tired of fighting it.
A lot of fescue seed, you know, comes out of Missouri, huge amount. And they wouldn't guarantee it's noxious, that Teresa wouldn't be in it.
Mm. I like the Korean.
Here you go, Tim.
Thank you, Don.
And the check in here? I'm sorry, check in here? Okay, perfect, thank you. You're welcome.
When am I gonna mow my yard?
With your bush hog, when you fix it.
I got my other one delivered and.
Maybe you can just hay it.
Pick it up to your boat.
Well, tell you what, my backside of my yard is Lake Johnston now. I could go boating this weekend without leaving the house.
It's safer.
There's gonna be all kinds of people on the lake.
You might already got your camping spot, Jesse, I heard down there last night.
Did you? Well, unfortunately, I gotta work all weekend, so. I would turn some miles.
Because the week to get rid of a container
I
that
don't
we
think
got
that's-
loaded. It was supposed to have been gone a week ago.
Angie, on this one credit card here for a commercial bank, a lot of purchases for health department, still have Lindsay Pear's name on all of them.
Oh, okay.
Probably not a big deal, but need to, probably need to get
Yeah, I
that
don't know
correct-
if they have,
Get that corrected somewhere.
yeah, we will do that.
Seen the city of Lebo raise their minimum water usage price, and raising the trash fees because of the
I think Leroy,
rising cost.
I think Leroy moved her trash up $3. I seen a notice, but I forget what it is,
Sign of the time.
Manufacturers are already trying to write programs for these trucks that's got DEF on them to, shut off the pump and the sensors because of the shortage that's coming this summer for DEF. What's gonna happen to your pickups?
Nobody realizes DEF has got urea in it.
Yep.
What just happened in Canada.
30, what is it, 30% urea, rest is still water, I
Yes.
think?
Train car derailed in Canada.
Yeah, a whole bunch of them, all that had urea on it.
Amazing how that seems to work.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And good justice for the gunman in Texas. We don't have to pay for him to go through the court system.
One person did that. Pure evil.
Oh, and I got a message yesterday, the health department was leaking water yesterday.
Yeah. So that's not work, that didn't work.
She's tried to get a hold of,
DC Solution.
I went down to talk to her this morning to see if she actually,
I think she's gone, isn't she?
yeah, she went, but I went down
Still
to see
coming
if
around the window or?
just that one area.
June 7th is as soon as DC Solutions can get here.
Okay, at least they're,
They're coming.
Yep.
Everybody in the health department might have to have floaties on so they can stay afloat. Arm floaties.
Pouring that.
I tell my guys, no matter what, don't go home, clean trucks, clean
Bob, is
shop.
your mule still available?
Yeah.
I'll rent him.
To ride to work or to mow your yard?
Maybe both.
Might need to start making some more, Bob, so we can, in case you have to start selling them.
Mules?
Yeah.
I'm not interested in that anymore.
Might need a buggy.
Did you see the picture of Interstate 40?
Yeah.
Wagons,
Wagon
horses
train.
again.
Yep.
Really?
It was.
Did they say that 2023 I-40 or something like that? Looks like an old wagon train.
We, take We take bids on the mowing for the parks and all that. The extension just goes out and hires somebody and then we pay the bill.
I've got to bid it out.
Well, I was gonna say, if we're gonna bid out everything else, that probably is, next year, that's something that ought to be bid out, isn't it?
What was the charge on that?
$60 a shot.
$60 a ton.
Well, that ain't too bad, that's a pretty decent sized yard.
I don't know how much ground they got. But still, if we're gonna bid other places, probably should bid everywhere, shouldn't we? I mean, that's something to think about for next year.
My dumb garden got, green bean seed. Looking out the window, maybe I should have bought rice, so I could replant my green beans.
Yeah.
If then when it dries up, what are you gonna do with your rice?
Turn the water hose on.
Sell it to Bob.
No, you're not.
I knew you'd say that.
I knew why you said it.
You don't like to eat rice, Bob?
I do not eat rice.
I've seen several people from that area that will not touch rice.
Rice and chicken. Rice and chicken.
Nope, do not eat rice. And I know it's a mental deal, but I do not eat it. But you know what, I got a daughter, 40-some years old, who's never ate rice in her life.
Really?
Because her dad doesn't eat rice, she's not gonna eat rice. And she will not fix it for her family either.
Modern air, $4,025.
I haven't got to that yet.
I think she said it'd be here, that control board.
Oh, to do that upgrading?
That wasn't too far down the road.
I had a good friend that works for them. Well, another good friend, part owner in it. And, he'd show up at work 30, 45 minutes early. They're like, what are you doing here? Well, getting ready for work. Well, you don't have to be here until 30 minutes from now. He's like, yeah, I know. He's like, is something wrong? Like, no, we're just not used to people being 30 minutes early.
Yeah. Not used to people being early.
And clocking in and getting paid.
Yeah, he wouldn't even clock in, he'd just get stuff ready. He knew what time he needed to clock in by.
I think these Carnival, SKs, whatever they are, $1,200, or those little booths.
I think those are those little blue booths that was made.
Mm-hmm.
That whole bill's about $70,000.
Expensive.
Not really for what they got.
It's pretty nice
I
looking.
don't know what lumber is, I guess, so
It's pretty expensive.
Well, I think they had $850 in product, and like $300 to build it. That's what they had. Cause you gotta think about it, you gotta take everything apart. So you kinda gotta build it to where you take it, and still be, they had one set up down here at the old filling station, north of the fire station there, here last Wednesday
The old
morning.
Sinclair station.
Yep.
What's this one here for, Bob?
See if I can tell. I have no idea. You'll have to do American
It sounds like,
Legion.
looks like there's 10 people involved,
American
or
Legion.
10 something.
Rendering for project, I don't know.
Bob,
Ask
he'll be
Bobby
back.
again.
He'll be back.
He'll be back in asking. I don't know. Can't tell you.
Children's $110 a night.
Seen something you don't see every day down in Monroe, Louisiana the other day, traffic jam. I was rolling up to it, of course, I was in the lane that the accident was in. Merged over and, I went, what, there's a Monroe Police Department car sitting there. Well, the Monroe Police Department cruiser rear-ended a pickup. You don't see that happening very often.
You were in Monroe, Louisiana?
Yeah.
What'd you do, go down to, Duck?
No, Duck Dynasty guys,
Dynasty?
no, we just went down there and messed around, but I wanted to roll up there and roll the window down and say, I'm officer, you're not supposed to work here.
Yeah, yeah.
He didn't look like he was really to and through. Destroyed the front of that car, that pickup, little SUV.
When was the last time the mileage? Move on.
Maybe they were chasing it and got.
Yeah, I know, 'cause the guy, the colored boy in the pickup was standing on the shoulder just in disarray, you know, it was pretty comical.
Yep.
I was like, yep, there's a lawsuit to the city of Monroe.
Sure. Well, if you hit him from behind, he was then responsible.
Yeah. United Methodist Church, $1,000?
For what?
I don't know.
Which department's it coming though? I haven't seen that one yet either.
Yeah. Oh, Happy Bear donation. Hi, Bobby.
Hello, gentlemen.
Good morning, Bobby.
Good morning.
Y'all was here and we was busy and you left, and so we started signing checks.
That's good.
We haven't got to yours yet.
Yeah.
Oh, I shouldn't have any big checks.
Oh.
I don't think I do. Hope I don't.
Bob, we got a voucher here for $1,550 to ECHELON Arch Design.
Yes, sir, that's an architect that I am using to do some work inside the county, different renderings and stuff to avoid full-blown engineering. So some stuff, like if I want to apply for a grant, I've got to have a stamped rendering to submit, and so that's what that is.
Renderings for what?
For different grant applications.
Just grant application?
Yes, sir.
It's got 15 quantities, $15 and $100 a piece.
Thank you, sir.
Let me see what that is.
I'm not disputing, I just need to, we'd like to clarify.
Yes, those are, so they compared 15 different renderings at $100 a piece.
Do we wanna get to a stopping point on signage and,
Stop whenever you're the boss.
no, I'm not.
You're the man in charge anyway.
I just,
Oh, yeah.
hopefully we can be out of here by then.
You just call it.
Wade, got something for us, sir?
You ready for pause for the cause?
I think a puppy pause when you say that. Thank you.
So what I'm handing you each is 2 documents. One is a motion. The motion is to authorize and direct chairman to sign Coffee County payroll notice for Seth Jarvis, County Attorney's Office, legal intern, new hire, Category 5, Step 1, wage $13.48, effective May 24th. The second is the CP2, which is the official county payroll notice that goes to the clerk's office reflecting the same. With me today, I've got intern 1, Cale Johnson, and then Seth Jarvis. Seth Jarvis is also a homegrown, local product from Burlington High School. From what year you graduated?
2021.
So 2021. He just finished his freshman year at Truman State in Missouri. He's also interested in the law, and he's sort of in a different position than Cale, as he is also interning with the Department of Commerce, so he'll be here maybe 2 or 3 days a week. But again, if they're from here and they want to come back, I'm going to do everything I can to get them back. And he's been here a couple days. He's been immersed in a couple things. Both Cale and Seth were present last night for the ad hoc committee, so they actually helped prepare a presentation that I presented at the beginning of that meeting. So they're already a vital asset to what's happening here in Coffee County.
Cool. Welcome, Seth.
Thank you.
I don't know, his dad's a big Mizzou fan. I just
Don't understand it. This is their hours, 1,000 hours?
So both of them can't exceed 1,000 hours, and we're not gonna get anywhere close to that.
Move to authorize director chairman to sign Coffee County payroll notice for Seth Jarvis, County Attorney's Office, legal intern, new hire, Category 5, Step 1, wage $13.48, effective May 24th, 2022.
also moved.
Tom's move,
All second.
Tim second. Any discussion?
If we don't approve this, and we've had a couple of days free from him,
Yeah, I guess you could look at it that way.
we gotta approve this one and do another one effective.
There you go.
Jesse, you wanna sign that second page there?
Yes, I can. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
So as I've indicated before, I think it's important that not only in the county attorney's office, I think economic development, I think that you have that opportunity with the clerk's office, with the commission, anywhere else, that opportunity be taken advantage of all across the county. Because if it doesn't happen, then I know these guys have opportunities to go elsewhere. And if they go elsewhere, my position is then they're not gonna come back to Coffee County. And I know Cale had an opportunity somewhere else, Seth has the opportunity in Topeka, but he still chose to take advantage of the opportunity here. And, my guess, and I don't wanna speak for Seth, but what he gets in Coffee County is probably gonna help pay for his gas to go back and forth to Topeka. May not pay for all of it, but.
Probably not. Welcome. Be a sponge, learn as much as you can.
He's already learning quite a bit, right? He's
Yeah.
been exposed to some things probably he wouldn't be exposed to otherwise.
Yeah. It's already learned a lot. It's just been a few days.
Where's your office space at, Wade?
On the floor in my office, I brought, Cale and I picked up a desk from my house to put in the office, so it's in my office up against the wall. I mean, there's no room, but I'm gonna make it work. But there's no excuse for me not to have them, so, but just so the public's aware, if they wanna see what we're operating in, we're all in a confined space, we're making it work.
Okay, aren't you glad you were hired first?
Yes, he gets first dibs on the desk, he gets edge of Bowie's desk.
There is no edge of his desk. It's all paper. Maybe you gotta work through the papers.
Yeah,
Then
a
you
little
get your-
square, a little farther in.
Very nice.
So just so you're aware, they're helping, finish up the RFP on the church, demolition RFP.
Maybe you can check see if somebody else in here has a small table or chair or something.
Well, the issue is where do I put it? I mean, if you've been over to the county attorney's office, I need a conference room, so I have a jury trial coming up and I don't have anywhere to lay everything out, so it's a problem. And somewhere down the road, if those on the outside think that I'm making that up, come to the county attorney's office and see what we have. There's no space at all whatsoever.
Tuesday through Friday, could you use the room where we go for executive session?
But then I gotta carry it all downstairs.
We got two strapping young lads over there that
Yeah,
you
and then I can't leave it down there because all the stuff I have is confidential.
Right.
So, it is what it is.
Got anything else for us?
Not necessarily. I'm here to support Bobby and what he's about to present.
I'd like to have the commissioners to go into executive session for 20 minutes with the county attorney, myself, to discuss matters of financial affairs of a corporation.
Actually,
How many minutes do you say?
I think this is probably better used under the attorney-client exception for discussions related to entering into a contract agreement and the terms and conditions related to, discussion of the terms and conditions related to that contract agreement on behalf of the county. So it's under the attorney-client exception.
Yeah, I guess Jesse just handed that up to me, so with that, with what Wade just said with Bobby and the commission,
I will refrain.
maybe we'll refrain, okay.
Also moved.
I'll second.
Been
I'll
moved
second.
and second, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstain?
Aye.
Abstain, you abstain.
Yep, stay.
4-0-1. And we will go in at, Tim, you need a break on the way?
Yes.
We'll go in at 10,
10-10,
10.
10-10 for 20 minutes.
That'll give everybody a break.
No.
It's the snacks and economic development and cost of living.
Don, we're gonna get you some.
Grit paper?
Some glue.
And paper, that's over.
On Tuesday.
Okay, Bobby. You're up.
I would like to discuss a project that's been, almost a year in the making. Some time back, one of our local industries, EMP Shields, which there's been a lot of discussion from the commission towards a project a potential project with EMP Shields where they would expand here in Coffee County. And that expansion includes purchasing property, making improvements to that property, and hiring some number of new employees. In the attempt to keep them in Coffee County and from going other places, that discussion's been complicated and taken a long time, but going back and forth, the company's decided to move forward. And the structure of the deal is EMP Shields will purchase a facility, a production facility in Lebo, and they will make an agreement with the county to make improvements to that property, add production, and hire employees. In lieu of that, the county is offering them an incentive of $500,000. They would be subject to, in lieu of that incentive, clawback provisions. They have to maintain employment. They would have to operate dutifully for an extended period of time. And if they don't do those things, then the county gets the money back that was given as an incentive. And if they don't do those things, the county may even end up with the building if they don't perform, if they don't hold up their end of the bargain. So I have had the attorneys draw up this agreement. The board of EMP has agreed to it. And I'm asking the commission this morning to agree to this agreement as I explained it, and allow the vice chairman to execute the agreement.
Anybody have any questions for Bobby? Comments?
So if they up and walk away in less than 5 years, then we get our money back and possibly the building as well.
Yes, sir.
Or they just don't perform, then all that's in that contract.
Yes, sir. If they don't hold up their end of the bargain to the T, they will either be forced to pay the county back and or we get the building.
Goes on the tax roll with the improvements, which helps out tax base, more employees.
That's right.
Win-win for everybody.
That's right.
How many employees?
So they're agreeing to maintain a standard of employees. In this agreement, we didn't get very specific. We just generally agree that they are going to employ additional people and maintain at least a certain number. But any future incentives that are coming along with this on the state side will have pretty strict employment standards. They're going to want to have, so we're going to come back on that issue as our project moves forward, when they start receiving incentives from the state.
Any more questions? I would entertain a motion to go into agreement with EMP Shields on the loan agreement for the property.
I'll make the motion.
Levin's not putting property.
On the, well, a grant
See, to this agreement,
to this
provide the
agreement.
incentive, yes.
To this agreement. Grant, not a loan.
It's not for the property, it's just for
Grant.
incentive to remain in Talbot County.
That's correct.
So, you move,
I'll
I'll
move.
second.
Been moved in the second. Tim and Tom, any more discussion? If not, Wade, did you have anything else before we?
I just wanna make sure the wording, so
Get that correct.
So, project development agreement.
Okay.
With the county granting $500,000 to EMP Shields. For the purchase of a property in Lebo, Kansas. No, you're a lot faster than I am, that's,
Subject to certain obligations by EMP.
and under the specific terms and conditions contained within the project development agreement.
Under the specific terms and conditions.
Under the specific terms and conditions as set forth within the project development agreement.
I'm sure that's what Tim said, but would you read it back to us, Angie, please?
Johnson moves to authorize and direct the vice chairman to sign the project development agreement with the county granting $500,000 to EMP Shield Inc. for the purchase of a property in Lebo, Kansas, subject to certain obligations by EMP Shield Inc. and under the specific terms and conditions as set forth within the project development agreement.
Tom seconded. Any more discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain.
Abstain.
401. Okay.
Just a second.
And gentlemen, just so you're aware and so the public's aware, this agreement has been vetted by 3 different attorneys.
Okay. Thank you. All right. There's 2 originals. Yes, sir.
Sign this Bob or Robert Hill.
Sign Bob or Robert L.
Robert
Sorensen.
Hill.
Robert and brackets Bob, because you go by Bob, right? I think that'll cover it.
Yep. Miss Angie, would you attest, please?
No, we need to do that.
So, the one thing that probably needs to be done, and I just thought of it, where's this money coming from?
I don't have
might change the family.
Would you like me to go grab you a sheet?
So would you, yeah.
Oh,
I had one
Ladies.
turned off as of late.
That's the last one that we had received anyway.
Maybe economic development loan,
which one?
economic development loan. It's a grant, it's not a loan.
Right.
One of them going
A lot of pens
to
there,
community
Don.
improvement.
You go through all that ink.
Yeah. Keep bringing it up, and I don't take it on.
6 million.
That could work, community improvement, well, where we got community improvement of just itself.
Like I said, these things they aren't always complete.
How much do we have in community improvement?
In the general fund?
Yeah,
About 1.2 million roughly.
I'd say just take it out of community improvement in general fund, because we can always transfer money into it if we need to. That's what it's for.
I agree.
There's 6 million in the reserve part.
Yeah. We'll just leave the reserve, just take it out of the
Operating.
operating community improvement.
Do you want me to amend that motion?
Do you guys want to amend it? Sure. Now, if they're willing to.
If that's what needs to be done.
I think it needs to be specific in the motion where it's coming from, otherwise you have another motion. But
Right.
I think you amend that motion, and I'm sorry, I should have caught that.
I didn't think.
I didn't think of it either.
But you'd have to come back next week and make that motion, because
We'll just
there's
amend
no
this.
word where it's coming from.
Just amend your motion.
I'll amend that motion that we pull it from the community improvement general
Reserve.
reserve.
General
fund.
fund, community improvement line item.
I'll second that.
Okay, been moved second to amend the motion to include where the money comes from.
Okay.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? 401. That's it.
Commissioners, thank you so much.
I think it's an asset.
Thanks for all the work that's made to put this thing together on behalf of both of us. This be another huge opportunity for Coffee County.
They're a rising star in Coffee County, and if we're looking at the discussion of maybe one day losing our tax base, which is the new plant, we have to replace that with taxable industry, who are paying taxes, paying not just ad valorem, but property taxes and all those things that are so important for this community just to maintain a standard of life.
And an employer.
Yes.
What is the sales tax? I mean, what, are they subject to sales tax
On their retail sales.
on their retail sales? So
Which-
everything they ship out, they'll collect sales tax on?
So, to a retail consumer, to an individual, yes. If it's a wholesale transaction, such as like,
It'll be
to a,
collected where it's sold at.
right, to a local government, there would be no sales tax
Right.
created.
So there is a sales tax,
That is, initially part of this company's portfolio. Thank you so much. Would you date the, seal, please? I'm sorry.
And Lebo has a half-cent sales tax or something also.
Yeah,
And they're in the city, we'll be in the city of Lebo.
that's right. That'll be a huge boom for them. Huge boom.
And the city's been pushing this as well.
Yes.
They've had a representative from the city involved in this.
Yes. I think they might just throw I was telling, some others, they might just throw a parade over this. Really?
Wednesday.
5:23.
I will state that for the YouTube land, that my company does not have to sell this piece of property, did not have to sell this piece of property. This piece of property was meant for development within the county and along the interstate, And this is a good opportunity for everybody involved, including the county, to keep EMP Shields inside the compound of Coffee County.
Absolutely.
It's gonna bring business, it's gonna bring more business into the county.
Commissioners, thank you so much.
At this time,
Thank you, Bob.
at this time, it's hard to put a true value on it, or it'll be in 5 or 10 years,
Yes, sir.
but it's gonna be huge.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
And Bobby, I think there's probably a lot of people in the county that don't even know who EMP is and what they do, and, I think at some point in the very near future, EMP will be here to maybe, publicly talk about what their company's doing, and, I mean, for those of us who were behind the scenes, and I really had no idea they were in the backyard, literally, and what they're doing, and how vital they are, and how much they're becoming a national and possibly international player in national security. And I think for those who may question what the county just did, I think they need to look into EMP and what they do and what they represent. And keeping them in Coffee County is a big move.
Products being made in Coffee County are in foreign theaters of military engagement. Products being made in Coffee County just secured and hardened and protected all the data at the Attorney General's office, who happens to be running for governor. I think that this company, I said they were a shining star, they are going to be something much, much bigger and better than even they are now. They're a great employer, and they may probably come up this Tuesday at this next commission meeting, if that'd be fine with the commissioners.
Welcome. Yeah, look forward to seeing them.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Bobby. And Wade, thank you.
You got something else you wanna share with us? We don't have to be going, I can, anyway, like that. Don't mean to speak for the rest of them.
We'll need to wait for you to come back. I just need to.
If you want to talk, I'm going to listen for a little while.
Yeah.
Signing, is that what it is?
Nope. Okay. You're up.
Oh, I'm not up for anything. I'm just sitting in for Angie Edwards.
Okay.
No. So I would, I guess, right now, I just encourage anybody who watches our meetings and who has a question as to what the county is doing, because it's easy to sit behind a computer and type something out for public consumption without, there's no way to separate fact from fiction. And the nattering nabobs of negativity are out there, and they continue to circulate, and I would encourage anybody who wants to question anything that's done to come into a meeting, get on the agenda, and ask the questions in an open forum. People can post anything they want online, and this board cannot respond in that forum because it's illegal. This is where that communication and those comments take place. So I think it's pretty easy to get on the agenda. Pretty easy. You call, you put your name on the agenda, you come in, and you ask the questions, and you respond.
Give a topic of your
Right.
meeting.
Sure, you can't just come and put your name on the agenda and without a topic. There's not gonna be a situation where, I would recommend that somebody put their name on, or they just come in and they ambush the commission. That's not proper or appropriate either. So, that's all I'll say about that.
I did receive an email, did you tell him that? Oh, how did that come up?
Just talking,
Huh?
just talking.
Wade was just discussing.
Oh, okay, I didn't know, I received an email this morning, someone wanted to be on the agenda, they, haven't responded with the topic yet, so.
Okay. So, I think, I mean, if you're not gonna give a topic, then you have to have a topic for the agenda.
That's what we've always operated as, but I didn't know, so.
And we welcome anyone
Yep.
that comes in and has any concerns, we welcome anyone.
So you just wanna know a topic?
But, yeah, we have procedure and that's the way it's to be.
I gotta run quick errand, I'll be back.
Well, with that all being said, if I may, had a little bit of discussion about, when the hospital came Monday. I don't think any one of us sat here and said, we don't support the hospital. I don't think any of us sat here and said we won't forgive the 1.5 million. I think we were just asking questions, as I know a few of us here are involved in business, and we just know that we can't just operate in the negative all the time, or the banker just shuts us off, so. If there's something bleeding, maybe let's look at it, and if it's highly beneficial, I'm for keeping it in place, I'm for keeping the hospital in place. I mean, it's an asset to the community, just like every business here in the county, or every business in the county, I should say, so. Every business in this county is an asset, including Coffee County Hospital.
I mean, notwithstanding the loan that occurred, I think Bob and Don were on the commission when that loan, what was it, 2017, 2018, for $4 million?
I wasn't on the original deal.
It was three,
I think it's $3 million.
$3 million?
yeah.
So, somewhere in that neighborhood. And then half of it was forgiven.
Yeah, I was there on that.
I was there on that as well.
And I was too. What year was that? That was just a couple of years ago.
Early of 20.
Right before you came. Well, when Cody, shortly before Cody resigned.
Yeah, early late
There was
20.
another loan before that too, that
Right.
that was forgiven too also, so.
2015, Coffee County loaned $3.4 million, and the hospital's future was in doubt. Without that assistance, so Coffee County stepped up big and large, in 2015. And then they evidently made some payments, take it down to 3. And then, yes, 2021, I believe is when we,
Revised the promissory note.
yes,
So I was a part of that.
correct.
So I mean, the county has demonstrated a financial commitment to Coffee County Hospital.
And
Even notwithstanding that, the county also, at the hospital's request, increased the mill levy.
Correct.
By what, 1.42 mils?
We gave them a little over $1 million extra dollars.
Right.
it gave the hospital $1 million, it gave the ambulance $1 million.
So,
So they gained $2 million in Coffee County Hospital from this.
so
Through the taxpayers already, so.
Even with that being said, I mean, I think the commission is still of the opinion that the hospital still needs whatever it needs to operate, and even with the 1.5 million that's still outstanding, the commission, still at the last time this was brought up in July of 21, set this over a couple of years, and I think to 2025, we'll review it again, and, with the idea that the remainder would likely be forgiven at that point in time. So,
If it went to vote right now, I would say yes to it, to forgive it.
So I don't think there's anything wrong with asking the questions, but the misconception that's out there is that this commission doesn't care or support the hospital, and that's nowhere near the truth.
That's hooey.
So I think that needs to be, made crystal clear to those who wanna send what I call the nattering nabobs of negativity. And that's just out there, but it's false.
Well, I think we gave, I don't wanna say an out, but we gave a, delay on that, and I think that is appropriate. I've been here from the beginning when we started giving away millions of dollars, and I'm not against it. I support the hospital very much, always have, but I'm not sure that, what we have done, that as of right now, that we should just definitely mark it out. I think maybe there's a couple other options, other things that we could do, and still not affect them, still not hurt them in any way, hinder them.
I'll go on the record saying I'm for the hospital, I'm for the existence of the hospital, I just don't understand how you go to the bank, get a loan, you gotta pay it back. You know, if you're bleeding money left and right, you gotta figure out where it's going. And try to slow the bleeding of money down in some way, shape, or form. I'm for the hospital existing in Coffee County, I am, but we gotta try to
Well,
heal it, we gotta heal it.
Yeah, they openly admitted Monday that, you know, nothing, no rate increases have happened in 6 years, and they're working on that. Kudos to them for that, so. Like I said, if it went to vote today, I'd be in favor of forgiving it, but.
Yeah, I think we all agree, you know, the value to the hospital, to this county, and maybe some surrounding counties just a little bit, is totally unreal, and it's hard to put a true value on it, but, you know, there's a couple of entities within the organization, they need to have some adjustments done, and I think they've recognized that, and I think they are going to address it, and we are here to totally support the hospital, but there are times in a business atmosphere when some adjustments need to be made, and I've got the confidence that some of those adjustments will be made. We absolutely need the hospital to service our county as well as surrounding counties.
I know I provide insurance for my employees, and they all basically live here within the county, and they all use the hospital, or the health system, medical clinic, whatever, so I'm glad it's here for them to use.
I think they've had a tough 2 years.
Yeah.
Welcome to COVID.
COVID don't help none of it.
Every place I checked, same response, same issues.
The fact of the matter is, the hospital is a big part of the county's insurance program as well. That
Yeah.
self-funded insurance,
Oh, yeah.
there's a huge component of that self-funded insurance program that directly correlates with Coffee County Health System.
Mm-hmm.
And so why would the county want to impact that relationship? It just
Well,
doesn't make sense.
that's the people, that's some on the outside, the naysayers, that don't look any further into it than what they hear.
Sure.
You know, they don't understand that the county pays hundreds of thousands of dollars to the Coffee County Hospital in services for the employees of the county. You know, and so it is a big asset for the county and for the hospital to stay in the county. I mean,
But that's the issue of separating fact from fiction.
Yeah.
And come into this meeting room and get facts.
Doors always open, get on the agenda.
It's easier to do it outside, though.
yeah, it is.
Well,
It's
and you-
easier to do it outside, and that's what creates issues,
Correct.
because they don't know the facts.
You know, And also on Mondays, I would, you don't always get the opportunity to talk openly and freely and more in depth like we are now about a subject
Mhm.
to hopefully better inform YouTube land or whatever you wanna call it. But, I mean, it's because you got the next one on the agenda, so then you gotta go to that topic, and then by the time you get to round table, forgotten some of it, not really forgotten it, it's just not on the top of your mind, so.
I like these, check signing meetings, extension of our board meeting to air out anything that needs to be aired out, other than during round table.
Well, the thing, I've suggested it for a while now, that, I mean, maybe on Monday afternoons, we just have we break for lunch after the meeting, and on the afternoon, we have, just discussion, just like we're doing now. Or you could do it in the morning and then have your meeting in the afternoon and vote on stuff then, I don't know, but
Some commissioner.
I think it's helpful.
I do too. They call it work study.
Work session.
Yeah,
Mhm.
just a work session.
Mhm.
It could be on Monday afternoon, Monday morning, do the meeting.
I think a good idea is Monday afternoon after the meeting, because everything's fresh in your mind, and person can circle back around.
Well, yeah, if you need to table something, you can table it and then do it during the work session, and then.
Right.
See, I think Franklin County has a work session in the morning and the actual meeting in the afternoon.
Yes.
It might even be on separate days.
Miami County
I think it is separate, maybe separate days.
does a work session in the morning, meeting in the afternoon, or right after.
Something to think about.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think just like right now, I think it's beneficial, we all know where each person stands, so.
I agree.
That's me.
The voucher here, Wade, and Happy Bear program, what's Happy Bear?
That is,
Something I've missed.
Nope, it's been done long before I got here. It's a program for elementary students where a group goes in and teaches them about good and bad touch. It's related to sexual assault type issues.
I'm sure we've seen it every year, I just don't recall. So.
I'm not sure if it came through last year,
No, it
because
I don't recall, but I,
We've had it before, but I don't think we have it every year.
Well, last year was still COVID running, but then they didn't go to the schools probably,
Right.
I guess.
So I just wanted to also mention, Don was there last night, but obviously he was at the meeting, ad hoc meeting as a observer. But to stress the importance of actually getting accurate and reliable information and not relying on misinformation that makes it out into, that spreads like gossip, because that's what misinformation is. It's no different than gossip. Getting facts that help you make a sound and solid decision is what having those meetings is about. And I think when this ad hoc committee comes in and they want to make the statements they're going to make, they actually have the facts to make those decisions, or to make those recommendations. And that's about the jail project that has been viewed as controversial. Why does the county need it? All these questions that, where's it gonna be? How much is it gonna cost? Why do you need X number of beds? If people would actually collect the facts and have people who know what they're talking about answer those questions instead of relying on their own misinformation, they might actually understand what the necessity of the jail is and how it would get paid for, and so on and so forth. But
How many of the ad hoc members was there last night? Did you get a head count?
I think there was 18, wasn't it?
the
I was short 2 in my area, I was short 2 in my area.
13, between 13 and 15.
He was a very open discussion, very proactive, lots of discussion, a lot of A lot of questions and a lot of, good answers. Wade done a great job, Joe did, and then Tom interviewed quite a bit, and Eric interviewed quite a bit. So it was a very open dialogue.
And Mr. Serrano.
Yeah,
Joe.
Yeah.
So, and that's what that means, so.
Especially when you start hitting your surrounding community in live, live meetings.
So educating the public on why all of these things make sense is the next part of that project. And at least they can make an informed decision instead of going off of rumor and gossip. I mean, starting out with the idea of razor wires and guard towers and that kind of thing. I mean, it makes no sense. And still encourage those who question why it's needed, go take a tour of the Coffee County Jail. Take a tour of the Coffee County Jail. Everybody who's taken a tour of the Coffee County Jail, even on the ad hoc committee, who hadn't been there before, their eyes were opened wide.
I've told several people up in my area, they come to me and ask me about it, and I was like, you need to go look at the jail, the existing jail, before you form an opinion, one way or the other. Once you go look at the jail, then you can form your opinion however you seem fit, because there's issues, serious issues.
And Tom did state last night they'd had a lot of citizens in, but he didn't mention any numbers, but he made a comment, a lot of them had been in and opened their eyes up very quickly.
The two interns in the county attorney's office took a tour, and I don't want to speak for them, but they basically said, never want to go back in there.
I can only imagine. Scared them pretty good, I would imagine. So the next meeting is the 7th of June at New Strong, or the 11th?
It's the 3rd in Gridley, and then the 10th is in Leroy.
3rd Gridley, 10th, I got it on my desk, on my
Okay.
desktop.
I got it for the next
I got it
6
on my
weeks.
phone.
They do skip one weekend there. And the possibility of one New Strong, Tom was gonna look at maybe changing that date,
Changing that,
because it was city council.
Yeah.
He changed it.
Has he changed it? Wait a minute.
I think he changed it.
I haven't got that new date.
I think as soon as that was mentioned, he changed it. I think Bob, you mentioned it was on a city council meeting day.
City council, it was the same night as city
Yeah.
council.
So I think he moved it immediately thereafter.
I'm glad the ad hoc committee, now was there representation from Goldberg there?
No.
There was nobody there?
Goldberg had planned on being there, but he had, a family member dealing with a medical issue that precluded him from coming in. Sheriff Tom had mentioned early on that he had planned on coming even notwithstanding that issue, and Tom told him, do not come, you need to deal with that family medical issue.
Yep. Well, there'll be plenty of other opportunities for him to be present.
Is this the last of that box?
As far as I
Yes,
know.
sir.
Yeah, that's it.
All right.
This here's the
Trust
resolution.
anything, you know.
So, was all the discussion we had yesterday afternoon kind of presented last night beneficial?
Yep.
5-minute break.
Take it.
You can take it.
Take it.
We'll just stack everything up beside you.
You'll be waiting when I get to
Yes,
turn,
sir.
huh?
Tuesday, the 31st, meeting, also a court date, so I'd request if you need me, you just give me a 10-minute notice,
Heads up.
so I can,
20 minutes.
That country song, Waiting on Wade.
Yeah. I'm partway through it.
You're partway through
I
it?
got some of it wrote.
that's fair.
I just gotta tune up my guitar a little bit. I haven't played it in a while. The strings kind of warped on me, so.
So where are we at? There hasn't been much discussion here lately about the policy procedure, handbook, so on and so forth, the pay.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up, round table. I meant to do that last Monday, but, yeah, this real-time pay thing kind of went away.
Yeah, so I know I think they kind of put the real-time pay on the back burner for a little bit, did they not?
I thought it was gonna be reviewed after.
After the,
Because there was no rush.
right,
You want to make it through all the different cycles, actually make it through April when everything got settled, and then it was gonna get brought back up. I was anticipating around July.
Okay.
And the policy and procedure manual is still being worked behind the scenes. I remember seeing an email here recently from Christina Dietrich wanting there's a, and I think maybe Bob was a part of it, of the meeting, correct me if I'm wrong, but the policy and procedure review committee, is that what it's called?
We had a meeting, you know, that, with her, but she was gonna work on some of the things thrown out, I think.
So, I thought there was a more recent version since then that was sent out, and maybe you didn't get it. Are you on that committee?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. So that, for that committee to review.
Actually, Jesse's on the policy committee now.
I don't need any more committee.
You were on it,
I was on
because I handed that over to him, actually, when we were downstairs. Remember, I handed that over.
I don't remember it.
Yeah, you did.
It wasn't in writing.
Yes, you.
It wasn't in writing.
Yes.
So I think that committee probably needs to get together and review at least the current revisions that were presented or recently sent by Christina for the committee to take a look at.
Are you on that committee, buddy?
Probably. I think Angie's on the committee. Who else is on?
Well, if Jesse's not, I am on it, so. That's all right. It doesn't matter one way or another. I mean, Christina's pretty well got it, I think, under control of what it is, so that's okay. I can stay with it for.
My only thing is I've got to invest so much time in my own company as well as the county as well, and I'm trying to.
I can stay with it too. For a while.
I'm usually in town and around, so.
Right, I mean, like I say,
I actually, lost the name. Regional Planning Commission, I turned over to Bobby when he came on as Economic Development. And then now I was a sub for ECAN and then Ottawa.
The bill's only 128, they increased it.
Yeah. This Lake Region.
Right.
So, and they haven't even been having meetings. Well, they just recently started back up.
Just pay it in advance.
Face to face.
I haven't seen that before.
I don't know.
That's the only thing I'm actually on right now.
I can see, I'm on plan and zoning and fiber and there's something else.
Well, previous balance was 475.
475, yeah.
So,
Adams Energy coming into May, they're getting a lot less.
I have not met with the Coffee County Sanitation Committee. I have not met with the Lake Region,
That's me.
and I am on policy and procedure. Darn you, Bob. You're on the,
I can keep doing it for the rest of this year. That'll help you.
you're on the Lake Region, Tom?
Supposed to.
Bob, you're on a lot of things.
You're right.
Whoever takes your seat better be ready to get their track shoes on.
Well, some of those they won't do.
Well, you're a member of the Lake Region. Tom is. Lake Region RC and D.
Yeah, that one. Like I said, when COVID came around, they just shut everything down, so
Yeah.
I haven't got back in that group yet, really. I get emails and respond, but.
Put one Don Stoudemire in one.
Yes. He is all about it and very enthusiastic about what he does.
He was a commissioner and then he got beat out and then he got appointed to took that over and then he became commissioner again.
Same thing on there. I'm not sure.
I wonder if they don't get to make a payment because our deal
Need me for
falls
anything
different
else?
times in their bill.
No, I don't know the way.
So,
We can find out,
My brain's
ask him Tuesday.
Thanks for the work you did on the EMP deal.
Yep, it's been, a lot of people were involved in that.
Yes,
so,
sir.
Gotta make sure it's properly vetted, and I was confident that
I will contact the other individual that was interested in purchasing the property and let him know that it's,
so, I do wanna plant one seed, and this is more of a, I guess it's globally a law enforcement thing, and maybe the sheriff will come up and talk about it at some point, maybe he won't. So, behind the scenes, he and I have been talking about, the necessity for having you probably don't know what Cellubrite is. It's a law enforcement forensic computer software program that is used to extract data from suspected, whether it be desktops, laptops, phones, etc. And they've got one in Wichita, they've got one in Topeka, the KBI, they may have one in Johnson County, but there's not one here locally, so anytime you have anything that needs to have a forensic analysis done on the law enforcement side, local law enforcement has to go somewhere else. I indicated to the sheriff that with the diversion funds, I'd be willing to pay for the initial part of the program, and it's in excess of $10,000, which isn't an issue. The issue, I think, would be the yearly maintenance of that, which is also significant. Because of my personal opinion as a prosecutor, the importance of having that program, and if Coffee County can sort of be a local regional hub where other agencies within the surrounding communities could come and use it, including other counties that are adjacent to Coffee County, I would encourage the commission to consider including that however it needed to happen in the sheriff's budget so that that ongoing expense could be taken care of. And that ongoing expense, I don't think it's cheap, but, and I know that's spending more money but this is a program, in my opinion, that you can't put a value on because of what it does. And one of the things that it can do that's used by ICAC in Wichita, which deals with, you know, child pornography, and, you know, to get some of the data and information off of phones, computers, whatnot, for those agencies out there, and it has a significant importance, and I think Coffee County is in a position where they could use that program. There would be trained officers here that could use it, because you have to be trained on that program. And this started out from another county contacting the sheriff and asking if the sheriff would help contribute some funds to purchase that program. And I told the sheriff I think it's important enough to figure out what it costs, and I'll pay for it out of my diversion money. That diversion money is there because of them. The 2 dogs that they have were paid for out of diversion money. That's the whole purpose of that fund. So
Is there, go ahead.
Should that be in the sheriff's budget or your budget?
I think it should be in the sheriff's budget. It's a law enforcement tool, investigative tool. So
Is there fees if you went to Wichita or Kansas City or Topeka to have something extracted? Do they charge?
they don't charge, but to the manpower, time, and having to go back and forth and having something like that locally, I think I mean, the detectives can tell you what the benefit would be to have it here locally.
Well, that's what I'm saying, now that, like Anderson and Woodson and Lyon and whoever, I mean, is there a benefit, could a person assess a small monetary fee to do this?
So, you could potentially, the sheriff could request maybe so let's say the yearly maintenance fee is $8,000, have each one of the counties who wants to use it pay $1,000 or something like that to help be a part of that.
Right.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm, or a fee every time they come in and need it used or to be used.
Sure.
It'd be easier for the surrounding counties to split
right.
the annual fee as it as it goes on, and then not have any charges for them to come in
sure.
and have us do it.
And that can all be negotiated, I'm sure, and I don't think any of the other counties would have an issue with that, and my understanding. Now, I don't want to speak for them because I'm sort of in the cursory, but I do know that the program, there are several different versions, and some of the you can get the basic version, but my position is you don't get the basic version of this, you get the basic version plus some of the extras, because the extras are what will fully help the program reap the benefits, especially if you have to use its results in the courtroom. And, I'm being very generic in what I'm talking about because I don't want it's getting off in the weeds, and the sheriff can tell you a whole lot more about what that program does. But it's called Cellubrite, and I know there is a current quote out because he's been working on that for a while, just over $10,000 the initial fee.
Is this for training some people how to operate it also, or is that additional?
It might be an additional fee, and I know that's not, that's costly too.
Well, kind of go along with what Jess is saying. If we're going to be at the expense of training the people too, and the other counties are going to use it, there should be maybe some kind of
most of your software, most of your canned software stuff includes in the purchase price X amount of hours of training. Now, and that's on office software stuff,
sure.
Big office software stuff. But this might be something totally different. They might discount it up front and you pay for your training afterwards.
Right.
So support.
I'm done.
they've got good support if something happens to it. Is it I'm assuming, is it in-house stored or is it web-based?
I mean, now we're getting,
Yeah, that'd be something for the sheriff probably.
yeah. I just wanted to plant the seed, so if you heard about it, I've already committed to paying for it through diversion funds. And then from there, it's the reoccurring fees that I think would be the hit that would need to be addressed through probably the budget. And even if the commission were willing to add, let's say, the yearly maintenance is $10,000, and I'm just throwing a number out there. If the county is willing to say they'll cover half of it because it's based here, and then whoever else wants to use it, they have to cover the rest of it. I think it's that important, in my opinion.
Qualify for equipment line item type thing, or?
I think so. And it's software.
Yeah.
So.
That's my first thought when you started bringing it up.
Yeah.
It needs to be.
It's a good forensic tool that I've known about for a long time. It has been used, I mean, it's used all the time, every day, all across America. So, when the sheriff comes up to potentially mention it, you'll know.
We don't look like the deer in the headlight.
Well, you still may.
May.
You get off into the weeds.
That's my normal.
About it.
I keep that look.
It becomes you.
It becomes me.
Well, if you need me, let me know.
I have.
Oh, see, Angie needs me already.
See, you can't leave yet.
I need to.
Email. We'll dig into it.
There's for Brad.
Oh, thank you, yeah.
Come here, this more, this is all jacked up. Let me take a quick break.
Angie, here's a bill on NOLAD gas. Does Road and Bridge, they use E10? It doesn't state whether it's E10 or just straight NOLAD.
That I can't
But it's
answer.
at $4.11 a gallon, which is higher than what their pumps are, if it's E10.
You want me to get ahold of Jeff?
I'm sorry,
Do you want me to call Jeff?
why don't we make a telephone call?
Okay.
And it may be just straight NOLAD without ethanol in it. It's not stated.
Hey, Jeff. Hey, commissioners are signing checks, and, Don's got a question here on some fuel.
On fuel, Jeff, do we use E10 or is it, just straight NOLAD?
I think we usually know that, but I can call it out and find out for sure.
Now, here's an invoice on May the 10th from Leroy, and it's at $4.11 a gallon, which is higher than what NOLAD is, but I assume Road and Bridge is probably using NOLAD to save the money.
Right. I will call and find out, or if we have used that, I will see why and get it corrected.
Yeah, this back on May the 10th, at that time, you know, most olive oil was still $3.90, $3.99, where most of them now are $4.09, but this goes back to May the 10th.
May the 10th. Okay.
If it's just straight NOLAD, it's probably right if it's got E10, but I assume we're probably using E10.
And that was $4.11 a gallon?
Yep.
Okay. All right. I'll check into it.
Okay, all right, Jeff, thanks.
You're welcome.
All right, thanks, Andrew.
I have those checks from you, Jesse.
They were in the bottom of that one
Okay.
so far.
$27,000 from Full Estimate, what it costs to repair the motor that caught on fire.
Yeah. Seems like we pay about always $35,000 to $50,000 every month or so.
Yeah, we got a lot of cat stuff.
Yeah.
We pay Amazon quite a bit, too.
Yeah.
And McDonald's and Applebee's. And Hoovers. A lot of coffee. A lot of really tough.
Here's one that Jeff's checking on. Not sure that's the right price. It shouldn't be that high with no federal tax in it. And it may or may not be E10.
I wonder how they're coming along on the internet deal that, to these other cities.
Well, that's the radio towers, that's not the internet,
Oh, okay.
and I don't know how that's going.
Well, the grant was denied,
Yeah.
so. I think it was, and I guess QuickCom bought out.
They bought,
Yeah, QuickCom's back.
Yeah, QuickCom, and it took over.
Telexp.
they've been way over here, probably,
Have they?
Burlington got a run out of banquet this year, Bob. Burlington got a run out of banquet this year.
I don't know if Lepo, I'm sure Lepo's doing well.
Leroy's, this is the first time in 3 years, that Leroy's,
Waverly's doing theirs.
they're doing theirs again.
Yes.
early, or?
My 20th coming up.
Your 20th?
Whatever.
20th.
Say,
You gotta be older than 38.
I think my 30th is this year.
You're getting old.
You got 22. 92, 22, yeah, 30 years.
I'm 60. I'm 61st this year.
It took me a while to graduate.
You still got things that you sign.
Yes, sir.
Well, when we had our 50th, we only had 2 class members
You only have 2 class members?
that weren't there.
That wasn't there.
Had deceased,
I'll be
How many
fine.
how many was in your class?
33.
I had 19, we had none at 50, but we've got 5 now.
I had 33 in my class, I think.
We were in smallest classes.
I'm gonna try to get some stuff off my desk here today.
Vacation, my youngest daughter was in first grade, they had 120 kids in her class.
Wow.
It was construction of Woodbury.
Yeah, oh,
And there were
yeah.
construction people for about 2 years,
Yep.
and I was on the school board, and we got mobile, classrooms and everything.
I'll be darned.
2.5, 3 years later, they were gone, we were back to normal.
That's here in Burlington.
Mm-hmm.
I think Burlington had 73 graduates the other day.
Mm-hmm.
72 or 3. Say, that room, that gym up there was chock full.
I made that comment, the gym was big, it just didn't look big that day.
Do we know what day they moved that ad hoc to for New Strong?
Wade didn't say it, he may not have moved. Oops, excuse me, Brian.
We got Wolf Creek drill in June? Yep. July.
July.
It's on July the 20th.
Made that one better. $12 sure beats
That's the
$4.79.
last, New Strong's the last meeting, too.
I guess I might as well clear all this stuff out of my book.
Yeah, Andrew pretty well cleaned everything up.
Well,
We're still waiting.
well, we're waiting on that, aren't we? Yeah, he didn't come back today, did he?
Yeah, I thought he was coming back today.
Is that,
The tax abatement?
Tax abatement, that's what we tabled.
oh, yeah.
you want me to call Mark?
You might see if he's got anything on it while we're here, we can
Okay.
take care of it. Before I throw it away. I know we told him either today or Monday, so, or Tuesday.
I hope I don't show up Monday. I may actually have a Monday off. I've had that for a while.
He's coming down, so.
Okay, must have something for us.
Okay,
800,
yes,
yeah,
there's here, there's here.
Okay. Morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good
Come
morning.
on up. Did you find any information out?
Yeah, thought I'd share these pictures with you. I don't know if you've seen the property at all or not.
No, I have not.
Now, that was before it was completed on the outside.
Okay.
But we had closed it out at 100% complete for 2021, January 1, 2021. Later we found out it wasn't quite complete, so we reduced it back down about 90% or 10%. And then I also wanted to say it's only a one-bedroom home. Now it's got quite a bit of square feet, but this owner, it's not his permanent residence. He lives in Wisconsin, and I think he just uses it for his, like he travels around and works. I don't know if he does outages or construction, but he did say he built this place himself. So he stays there between jobs, I think. He doesn't have any real water or well. He has to haul water. Excuse me.
Where's this at? What's the address on this?
It is.
It's southwest of Gridley.
It's on Contour Road, and it's just probably a mile south of 58.
Yeah,
If you
yeah.
look at 369, it's gonna be,
369 Contour.
gonna be in that first mile south. He owns 320 acres there. He owns a full half section.
I think
I haven't been by it.
I think it's in two separate parcels. If I'm no, it's not.
Is it totally completed yet?
Yes, it is now. So we lowered it from 21 to 302, 130 for a total, with that includes ag land and everything.
Yeah, they need to.
And for 22, we bumped it back up to 333,420. So we did bump it up some this year.
So you bumped it up higher than what it was at 20.
Probably.
But, so you're just technically lowering it for this 1 year because it wasn't completed.
That's basically
Is
it.
that correct? And now you've bumped it back up to 330,
420.
333, which it puts it up
Yeah,
6 or 8% higher than it was a year ago,
yeah,
right?
that's correct. It's a steel building, it's kind of a probably a red iron steel building, but I'm not sure.
Kinda hard to tell what the structure is by
Yeah.
looking at it.
It is a big building.
It doesn't look like a steel building.
Beautiful, it's a beautiful place, with the third picture.
got an unusual design to it.
Yeah.
Kind of a lookout tower. I might say he's probably a hunter, would be my guess.
It could be.
I'm not familiar with that half section, I mean, I've been by it, I'm sure a lot.
I wonder how many, because there sure is a lot of windows in there for it to only be a one bedroom.
Well, there's more rooms. I was told that the upper floor is all like pretty much his bedroom suite and, you know, bathroom and stuff like that. And then the bottom floor is, you know, of course, there's the kitchen and another bathroom. And there's some other rooms, but we can't consider them bedrooms, even though it could be used as a bedroom, because they don't have closets built in we.
Well, it sounds like maybe you overstated it 2 years ago, because you anticipated it being fully finished.
Right.
And it really wasn't, so.
He stated on a cost report that he sent to us, or we sent it to him and he filled it out. He says he's got 176.4 in the building. But like I said, he built it himself. So he might be a little low on as far as what he's charging for labor, because he did it himself, so. I think he had about $100,000 worth of material and about $40,000 for his labor, and then the rest was, you know, excavation and just dirt work and plumbing and electric.
What sounds to me like the request is probably legit.
Probably a legitimate request.
Because it,
I did check.
sounds like it's probably legit since it wasn't completed at the first true value.
Right, we had closed it out as
And then
complete.
you lowered it about 20%, and now you've got it back up 5% higher than what the original was. So we're just forgiving this reduction for 1 year.
1 year.
Correct?
That's correct.
I would imagine it's a steel structure the way it's designed on that.
With trusses right there, so, not that matters, I guess. Needs a little yard work.
Right.
Almost looks like ICS.
Got that,
Like-
that
looks like
is
concrete.
insulated concrete, that's what it looks like.
That's what,
I don't know if it is or not. I wondered that myself, but I don't know.
I don't know either.
Has it been
Well, the way that-
inspected since it's totally finished?
Broke on the corner.
Pardon me?
Has it been inspected since it's totally finished?
I would have to check that. I'm not sure. I haven't,
Yeah.
but I don't know if somebody from our office has.
I can't imagine.
I would say probably from,
Since if you got an increase to 333, they probably, somebody looked at it.
Those pictures you got.
he's gonna contest it, you think? Well, he might.
Somebody's there looking,
But,
well, somebody's there looking at it in that picture, 'cause there's our vehicle.
That's our vehicle, that's right.
They took the picture.
That was in,
2020,
2020.
yeah, and you got a picture of 2021.
He's only asking for an adjustment for 1 year, so.
Yeah.
Everybody's in
it
agreement.
probably looked finished from the outside, but,
This is the first time I've seen this type of request come across. Lower because it wasn't totally finished and then bounce back up for the next year.
So the tax abatement, move to authorize director chairman to sign one tax abatement in the amount of $852.44.
I'll move.
Tom's moved,
I'll second.
Ron second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Thanks for your discovery.
You
Okay.
need me to sign this, don't you?
yeah. Oh, no, I thought you meant me.
No. Thanks, Mark.
Good
Thank you.
afternoon.
You.
One special issue that we need done for HR partners and their consulting.
Okay. Well, he got that slipped in there just to
Yeah.
make a time, but. Is there a mailbox in your room for emergency preparedness?
So what?
Is there mail?
Yeah.
Do they get their mail in there?
Yep.
You wanna put that in their box, please?
Sure.
Whistle bit.
Do they have any new round table stuff?
Covered mine earlier.
Yep. You got any new round table stuff?
The only thing I have is that the auditors were here this week. They came Monday and, worked here all day Monday, Tuesday, and then, of course, we had sent them things prior to via email, and then I've continued to send them stuff via email, so they're done on site. And so far, I think everything's going smoothly, so
Sweet.
we should have it fairly soon, I would think, so. And I think that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay. Tim, you got anything?
I'm fine.
Everybody good? Don, you got anything?
I'm fine.
I think we had a little round table earlier that did a lot of good.
Pretty productive session.
Do we wanna start doing a work session every Monday after, when we get done with our agenda, just kinda go over, recap?
If there's a topic that we really need to discuss and kind of hair out.
We can just kinda go by day?
I think it needs to be on a, maybe as a needed, I don't.
As needed basis, not.
I mean, if we decide to table something for further discovery, that'd be a good time to have a conversation. Or even just, you know, like the hospital's presentation, if you guys wanna come back after lunch and talk about it,
Mhm.
discuss it, or, and I'm just using those as examples.
Right, okay.
But Bob's probably right, not every week, but we might need one, but, I mean, sometimes where if you got a busy schedule and then you
Kinda
don't
like-
really have enough time to hash it out.
Right.
Instead of rushing it, we could just table it till after lunch and
Discuss it.
have it discussed and vote on it then.
Very well. I don't have anything else. We'll adjourn at 12:02. We're adjourned.